Imagine being charged $100,000 just to apply for a job in another country. That's exactly what's happening now, and it's not just hurting workers. It could seriously damage the US economy. On Friday, Trump, surrounded by his corrupt inner circle, introduced a massive fee hike for H-1B visa applications, raising the cost from a few $1,000s to a staggering $100,000. That's about 60 times the current fee. Why? Well, part of the good old-fashioned economic nationalism, America First branding, part of it is kind of political drama, the kind that plays well at rallies and in fundraising emails. And part of it, yes, is radicalized, because when you look at who this hurts most, it's not white immigrants from Europe. It's mostly Indians and other Asians who fill roles in tech, healthcare, and research. According to Trump, the goal is to protect American workers by forcing companies to hire locally. But many economists say this move is going to backfire hard. H-1B visas are the main way American companies, especially in tech, bring in such highly skilled international workers, engineers, developers, data scientists, and more. And majority of these workers come from India. Last year alone, Indians accounted for over 70% of approved H-1B visas. Big tech firms like Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, and Google are among the biggest users of this visa program. In the first half of 2025, Amazon had over 10,000 H-1B approvals. Microsoft and Meta had over 5,000 each. Yes, these companies can afford the new fees, but they're not the only ones who rely on international talent. Industries like healthcare, research, and education also depend on these visas and workers. Smaller firms and institutions just can't write off a $100,000 visa cost. For them, this policy could mean hiring freezes, understaffed teams, and falling behind in innovation. Economists are sounding the alarm. Atka Can from the Birkenberg Bank called this anti-growth policymaking. He warned that publishing foreign talent away would lead to brain damage, damaging productivity and long-term growth. In fact, Birkenberg just downgraded its U.S. growth forecast from 2% to 1.5%. And even that might feel a little too optimistic. And it's not just about lost talent. The move triggered chaos in Silicon Valley. Some companies even told employees not to leave the country over the weekend, worried that they might not get back in. On Saturday, the White House rushed to clarify the news on the new fee, that it only applies to new applicants and this is a one-time payment, but the damage was already done. India, the country most affected, didn't hold back. Their commerce minister, Goyal, said they are a little afraid of our talent. He may have a point. Indian tech giants like Infosys and Tata Consultancy saw their stock prices drop around 3% after announcement. These firms send thousands of workers to American clients each year, and none of this came out of nowhere. One of the key architects of this crackdown is somebody you might remember. Stephen Miller, the same hardliner behind the Muslim ban, family separations, and attempts to end birthright citizenship. If you want to understand more about where this policy comes from and where it's going, I'm going to ask you to take a moment to make sure you're subscribed. We cover stories like this all the time, and you won't want to miss. Cut to the clip.
One of the most abused visa systems in our current immigration system has been the H-1B non-immigrant visa program. This is supposed to allow highly skilled laborers who work in fields that Americans don't work in to come into the United States of America. What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers. So it'll protect American workers, but ensure that companies have a pathway to hire truly extraordinary people and bring them to the United States to work.
We need workers. We need workers. We need great workers. And this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, do you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land, train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here, $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it.
That's Stephen Miller presenting the order to Trump. Stephen Miller calling H-1B visas cheap foreign labor isn't just dishonest, it's actually racist, xenophobic, dog whistling dressed up as economic policy. These workers aren't undercutting anyone. They're filling roles in tech, healthcare, and research that the US can't fill domestically. And the real reason Miller and his ilk are targeting them isn't about wages. It's about who they are. They're mostly immigrants, they're mostly brown, and mostly from the global south. Beyond the economic costs, there are real human impacts. Families left in limbo, international students face uncertain futures. Companies that once viewed the US as a global talent hub may now look elsewhere, to Canada, to Europe, or even back home. The bigger picture, this decision is part of a wider trend: economic white nationalism, chaos in immigration policy, and growing isolationism. And economists warn it's not just bad policy. It could contribute to a financial crisis down the road. If the US wants to stay competitive in AI, biotech, and advanced research, cutting off access to the best global minds is not the best way to do it, because talent doesn't wait. It moves where it's welcomed. And if the US turns away that talent, it won't just hurt international workers, it will hurt everyone here. And once again, if you've enjoyed this video, I'm going to ask you to take a moment to subscribe. We can't grow without your support.